New Social Security benefits worth thousands of dollars available to more people. I have all the details and everything you need to know with all of these changes in this video. Let's get into it right away. But if you're new here or haven't you done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down the video. It's totally free to do so. And let's jump right into the update. Alright, so now this is actually a very interesting update here, and I want to break this down for you because this would result in thousands and thousands of dollars for a lot of people from Social Security. So just this month, a small group of 3 Democratic senators sent over a letter to Social Security Administration calling on them to actually approve those people who are now disabled as a result of what they're calling long COVID. Have you heard about this? Well, yeah, now that we've been dealing with COVID for over 2 years now, there's some people out there who have had COVID and are still dealing with some long-term effects and side effects of COVID. So here's the deal. They've actually identified as long COVID as a new type of disability. In fact, the Department of Health and Human Services back in July 2021. So just last year alone, they actually identified long COVID as a disability under the Americans with Disabilities Act. So it is officially a disability long COVID. The long-term effects of these things actually are the real thing, and long COVID is very much a real disability. However, how does this translate into Social Security benefits and potentially even thousands upon thousands of dollars? Here's what it's coming down to. Now that they have identified long COVID as a real disability and kind of a real thing that a lot of people are struggling with right now as a result of Americans with Disabilities Act. In other words, it is the real deal, right? So what they're coming out with and what this letter from these 3 Democratic senators over to the Social Security Administration was actually calling on was basically saying, hey, there's a lot of people out there that are struggling from long COVID right now and they should be available to receive SSDI benefits, Social Security Disability Insurance benefits. Now, I do know that there are a lot of you in this community of receiving Social Security Disability benefits. But if you're somebody who has had COVID and you're still dealing with some of the adverse side effects from having it, maybe a few months ago, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, things like this, and you're still dealing with that, you could be subject to getting Social Security Disability benefits. Now, over the last several months here, Social Security has apparently received 23,000 applications with COVID as a result of their application. So this is not a new thing necessarily, but what these Democratic senators are calling on Social Security do is start approving these cases, these individuals who have long COVID, because it is a disability and these people should be available to start receiving these Social Security disability benefits. So this is actually a massive change here. Because realistically, prior to COVID, you couldn't obviously get SSDI benefits from this. However, they are now pushing for this saying, you got to start applying or you got to start approving these individuals who are applying for Social Security disability benefits as a result of long COVID. Now here's the deal, just because you have been diagnosed with COVID at some point, whether it was a month ago, a week ago, 3 months ago, or 2 years ago, the deal is just because of the diagnosis. That would not necessarily make somebody eligible to receive SSDI benefits. However, if you're dealing with side effects from COVID still whenever you have had it, or you're dealing with something like long COVID symptoms, then you may be eligible to receive SSDI benefits. But here's the deal, the best thing you could do is probably apply for benefits. At some point, I cannot perform work within the capacity that I once did, my hours are limited, or I can work less, or I'm fully disabled now, and I can no longer work at all in those situations. As we all know, or as many of us probably know here in the community, these are some of the ways that you would possibly be eligible to receive SSDI benefits. If you are previously working and you can no longer work at the capacity that you once did, or if you are fully disabled now as a result of long COVID, which again is a real thing. Many people out there are experiencing this. If this is your situation, then by all means you may be eligible to receive SSDI benefits, and again, could be worth thousands of dollars. So this is a pretty big change here, as they are potentially now examining this and looking into the possibilities of actually making SSDI benefits available for those people who have had COVID. Now this would actually be potentially a lot of people, right? There's millions and millions of people in the United States. I know for a fact it's in the tens of millions, if not in the hundreds of millions of people. Now in the United States as a whole, there's about 333 million people, but I do know that it is in the millions for sure. Tens of millions, possibly even in the hundreds of millions, but I don't really know that number. I couldn't look it up as well. But either way, this could actually open the door for a lot of people to start receiving SSDI benefits. COVID apparently is not going anywhere anytime soon, as even people like Dr. Fauci has basically come out recently essentially saying that we could be dealing with another massive surge here within the next couple of weeks, as there are many countries with all around the world. Many Asian countries, like I've been talking about recently, China is locking down many other cities. We've also seen massive spikes in other countries, Singapore, Thailand, European countries, Australia, New Zealand. Many of these countries are starting to see massive spikes of COVID once again. And yeah, they're all saying that once again, it's probably coming here to the United States, which we all pretty much already know. Usually we lag about 2 or 3 weeks behind the European countries, and they're kind of dealing with that now for about a week or so now, or maybe a week and a half or so. So it looks like we could be dealing with this. So again, this is kind of a game changer for a lot of people. And like I said, this would be worth thousands and thousands of dollars. So again, if you're somebody who has had COVID and you feel like you're still dealing with the symptoms of long COVID or any types of these adverse side effects of having COVID, at some point you may want to look into this, because it looks like this could be something that's real coming to Social Security benefits, SSDI benefits in particular, and yet it could be a kind of a cool thing going forward for those of you who may still be dealing with some of those side effects, and hopefully grabbing some extra money here on an ongoing monthly basis during this very difficult time that we're living through there now. I know a lot of you here that are in the community who may be receiving fixed income benefits. Maybe you're low-income seniors, elderly people with disabilities, things like this. And I'm going to continue doing anything I possibly can to be your one and only daily advocate and to bring you all this information to help you out each and every day. So again, thanks so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Please leave your comments and questions down below. I do my best to read as many as possible and of course respond to as many as possible. Thanks again. I will catch you again later in the next video. I'll see you soon.